Get the knees a little loose, hips a little loose. Wake up a little bit. All right, so I want you to imagine that a clock is underneath you, or you're standing on top of a clock. All right, so good old-fashioned dial. All right, I want you to find your balance on your left foot. So the right foot doesn't need to be off the ground right now, but the majority of the weight is in our left foot. What we're going to do is we're going to work in a semicircle. We're going to work from 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock over the next minute. So what that looks like when I'm working my 12, I'm going to reach as far as I can, tapping with the ball of my foot, not my toes, bringing it back in. I'm going to find my 1, and then I'm going to go out to my 2, and then 3. Now, actually, go ahead and join in with me. Over the next minute, you're going to work on finding each one of those numbers, tapping with the ball of your foot, sinking into the knee and hip of that left leg. And once you hit that 6, go back to that 6, go back to that 5, and working counterclockwise. Kicked over an Indian club. Thankfully, I ran on my toe. Still got about 30 seconds on this side. So once you get back to that noon, that 12, start working your way back clockwise. Challenging the hips a little bit here. We're not reaching so far that we feel any pain or any discomfort. We're just trying to get a little bit of engagement going on through the hips early today, a little bit of blood flow, a little bit of warmth. All right, relax. All right, that tip got a little warm as well. Switching on over, weights on that right leg, doing the same thing. Left foot's going to reach for that 12. We're going to go counterclockwise first. We're going to find that 11, that 10, and we're trying to tap with the ball of the foot, not just reaching with the toes. Going that 8, that 7, and again hitting that 6. All right, once we hit that 6, going clockwise, working our way back around. If you miss a number, don't feel like you got it perfect. That's absolutely fine. I'm just giving some targets. Once you get back to that 12, back to that noon, you're going back counterclockwise. We've got roughly about 15 more seconds. If you don't finish back a full revolution, that's fine. Hopefully the hips are getting a little toasty by now. And relax. All right, let's take it on down to the floor. As mentioned at the beginning of the class, today's focus is hips. Once we're there, we're going to work our alternating shin box. So I want you to actually try to get those feet outside the hips today. All right, we're going to challenge ourselves a little more. Let's go ahead and just take that left knee to the ground, and then the right knee follows. I should know this one pretty well by now. Once we're in this position, that right leg's going to go as far as it can. Like left knee still on the ground, and then the left knee follows when it can or has to, pressing both back into the ground. Left knee starts coming up as far as you can get, so the hips really working that external rotation as far as you can, and then right leg follows. All right, now you start working this at your pace over the next minute. So this alternating shin box can be done in a lot of different, coached a lot of different ways. It really just depends on the intent. Right now, I really want you to encourage some activation. So you're trying to take the legs as far apart from each other as you can, challenging the stretch through the groin, the inner thigh area, before opposite leg follows, and then really pressing into the ground. If I was just trying to increase blood flow, you would just be relaxed, just rocking those legs back and forth. Got about 20 more seconds here. Got time for one more rep. And then let's take it on back to center. All right, we're going to get into a seated 90-90 position. Now, there's a lot of different 90-90s you'll hear. That's supine. We have standing. We have everything in between. Right now, we're going to be seated. All right. So we got 90 degrees in that front right leg, through the ankle, through the knee, through the hips, the back, knee, and ankle. We're nice and tall. Change this camera angle just a hair. Nice and tall in the body. Okay, right hand's on the ground. If I were to take my left hand off to the side and be in line with my left leg, I'm going to hinge forward towards that knee. I'm actually kind of leading the way with my sternum, still strong through the belly, towards that front knee, still long through the top of my head, so I'm not collapsed forward. Really challenging myself here. And then let's go back up, nice and tall. Reset, press that left knee into the ground. And then let's rock back forward. Long from top of your head towards that front knee. Your toes are still pulled towards the knee. You're challenging yourself here. You're working that breath. Back nice and tall. 2 more. To a strong hinge. Strong through that upper back. Rib cage is pulled in. Really challenging that hip. Back up. Last time. Reset. Brace the belly. Nice strong hinge. And relax. All right. We're going to bring that left leg on forward. We have, again, those 90-degree angles throughout the front leg, ankle, knee, through the groin, back knee through the ankle. Reach my right arm off to the side. It's in line with my right leg. Nice and tall. Working that hinge. And relax. And you're leading the way with more of that sternum or almost upper abdominal area. So don't lead the way with your chin, or else you're going to find yourself rounding. Let's work that hinge. And up. All right, pressing that back knee, that right knee to the floor, working that hinge. Now focus transfers into that front leg. Put as much weight onto that front leg as possible. You're as long as you can get from your left hip through the top of your head. And up. 1 more. Reset to that belly. And hinge. Relax. All right. Let's go relax out of that 90-90 position. We're going to lie on back. You're going to come to a supine position on the back. We're nice and long from the heels to top of your head. Barely in that camera today. All right. We're going to work right side first. We're going to work through 3 movements, and then we'll get over to the left. All right. I want you to go ahead and take that right knee over top the right hip. Legs at 90 degrees, and you're going to interlock those fingers below the knee, as closer to the hip. All right, pull those toes towards the kneecap. We're going to work a minute of our hamstring floss, really driving through that heel, pulling back to 90, driving through that heel for that exhale, pulling back to that 90. You're not going to hold this one very long, right? I want it to be intense, short and intense as you drive through the heel, and then pulling back down to that 90. Your tempo matches your breath. Now give yourself a check. Is that left leg still long? Is the back of that left knee still towards the ground? Are the toes of both feet pulled towards the kneecaps? We're creating those tension points, locking the hips in, really challenging the back of that right leg. You got roughly 10 more seconds. Maybe 1 more rep if you're working that strong exhale. Relax. All right, we're staying on that right side. We're going to come back to that 90-degree position. We're going to take the left hand outside of the right knee. That right hand's just going to go off to the side, palm to the floor. And we're going to start pulling that knee across the body. Okay, don't let those hips come off the ground. I know it's very tempting to go over to that low back stretch and going all the way over. What I want you to think about here is getting as much distance between right knee and that right hip. So I'm hoping you're starting to feel a little something on the outside of that hip socket. More of that abductor area. Point toes towards the knee. You haven't lost that tension point. You're still strong. And let's go ahead and give that right leg a big old bear hug. So you're going to bring it towards the chest. And I'm going to leave it up to you if you feel comfortable with taking that knee outside of the shoulder and bringing that right heel towards your left shoulder. So almost making a diagonal line across the body. For as long as we can get from the top of your head through that left heel. So create that distance from left heel to top of your head. Cradling that right leg to your chest, towards your body, outside of shoulder is optional. And you might find that if you are able to take that right knee outside of that right shoulder, that you start really working that external rotation through the hip and really trying to bring that right heel towards the left shoulder even more. No pain. And relax that right leg. All right. Bring that left leg on the 90. You're long through the right leg. Now interlock those fingers. The hamstring below the knee. Let's work that heel drive to the sky. Pull the toes towards the knee. And again, working through it to your breath, just like we did on that right side. Exhale as you extend. Inhale as you pull that heel back down. Now give yourself that check. Is your right leg still long and strong? Are you creating that distance from top of your head through that heel? We have time for one more. Let's make it your best. You save that last rep for the best one. Really extend through. Pull those toes towards the knee. And start to relax, keeping that leg at 90. Right hand goes outside of that left knee. The left arm just goes off to the side. Press that palm to the ground. Let's pull that knee on across. And you can see a little better as I work this side. This is the area, if you can see your screen outside of that hip or that hip socket that we're looking to feel. So you're fighting that urge to take the knee all the way over. I'm decently flexible and I really only have my left knee over top of my right hip. I'm more thinking about creating that distance between the two, so encouraging the lengthening from that hip to knee. And let's go ahead and give that left leg a big old hug. Just like we did on that right side. I want you to try to match whatever you do on the right side. So if you're able to get that knee outside of that shoulder and start encouraging that heel towards your right shoulder or opposite shoulder, do the same. You can, those shoulder blades are backing down. You're still long through that right leg. I'm a big fan of movement. So if you want to move that left leg around a little bit, encouraging a little bit more intensity here and there, you can, and then reset. You can encourage that intensity and reset. No pain, just increasing that stretch a little bit. And relax. All right. For the camera's sake, I'm going to go and roll over to my left. So I encourage you to do the same, unless rolling over to the left turns you away from the camera. What I want you to do is you're going to be on your left side. Your legs are going to be stacked. Okay? So your knees are on top of each other, your feet are on top of each other. Try to get as comfortable as you can with that head so you can either rest on the shoulder a little bit. I know a little bit off camera, should have gone a little lower. We're going to take that right hand, we're going to start reaching it overhead. Palm to the ground at first, and then as you need to, palm turns to the sky. And then we're going to follow, letting that chest open as that right hand continues to sweep around, turning the palm where it needs to go as you start getting back towards the hip. You notice that palm needs to turn back down, making your way towards that right hip. Trying to stay on the floor as much as possible, then taking it back overhead, letting the shoulder, letting the hand turn as it comes back around. And let's go one more rep. Top hand reaches to the sky, letting that palm turn as it needs to stay on the floor. Letting that chest open. Coming back around once you're ready. Excellent. For those of you who aren't worried about being on camera, go ahead and just roll on over. I'm going to flip around just so you aren't staring at my back the entire time. We're all on that right side. Knees are stacked, heels are stacked. We're going to take that top hand, might be your left hand if you're with me, going over ahead, sweeping around, letting that chest open as you start reaching behind, trying to get that hand all the way back around to your left back pocket. And then circling back, taking your time. Really been working those shoulder rotations with Coach Jared the past few days, especially in his warm-up. So letting that shoulder pivot and rotate through shouldn't feel so foreign as we work through this. Making your way back around front. Excellent. All right, let's come on out of that position. We're going to finish off with a pigeon stretch on each side. We're going to spend about a minute and a half. So for my setup, I like to get you into a plank position and then rocking forward. And then we're going to try to get that right shin behind the wrist. Today, I'm going to encourage you to stay a little more vertical and actually try to make this a little more dynamic. So when we're here, we're going to try to be vertical, and then we're going to really sink that right hip back and over. Exhale. And then back nice and upright once you're ready. And over the next minute, really working those strong reps at your pace, working that exhale as you take that right hip to the back right corner of your room, and then back to vertical. If this is a little much for you, take that right heel towards your left hip, closing off that box a little bit. It's going to make it a little more bearable on the hip. You've got about 30 more seconds on this side. Again, you're working those reps at your pace, really trying to work that intensity, pushing that hip back and over. Let's get that last rep in. Relax. Nice strong reset. Let's take the tension off that right leg. You got to do a quick downward dog, quick sit back if you like. This is going to finish us up on that left side coming forward. Same thing in that setup. If we can, we're getting those that shin right behind the wrist. If we need to take that left heel towards the right hip, you can. If you know what you're doing, you hopefully already started, but we're going to be sitting that left hip back and over. We're going to be working more repetitions here, your pace, matching that exhale. And this is going to get a little bit more intense than what most of us will be able to handle for a good 2-minute static stretch. So really pushing it a little more to the extreme and getting no pain, just more than it'll be easy to maintain for over a minute. And setting those reps to match your exhale, that slow exhale out of that straw as we take that left hip over to the back left corner of your room. Getting going nice and vertical and sitting back. Let's get one more rep in. Make this one your best one. You've been saving this rep all class to finish strong here. and relax. You can come on to a saddle sit, or whatever feels comfortable for you. I'm hoping you leave today, hips feel a little more mobile. Again, today's concentration was hips. Tomorrow, we'll encourage you for you to come back. We're going to be working more on that T-spine. We're going to work wrist mobility. We're going to work ankle mobility.